The presentation that caught my eye goes by the name of How Common Threats Can Lead to Common Political Grounds, presented by Jonathan Haidt. He began by stating that asteroids were scheduled to collation with the U.S. in the next 50 years. His resonating in the audience reminded by the enforced accusations and presentations by NASA's own James Hansen and his presentation called Why I Must Speak Out About the Climate Change. He continued by showing charts of how Hansen's predictions were coming true. He also continued by presenting a second example, an article by Yuval Levin called Beyond the Welfare State, which also had charts which went really similar to Mr. Hansen. However, it was on GDP in America and how it was to change in the next 50 years. Mr. Haidt is a very strong on the number 1 of the charts, thou shalt not simply trot and usually stick to the stick. He also had number 3, thou shalt reveal the courtesy of thy passions, and finally number 9, thou shalt not read the speech. By using the humor and fact of Nancy Dorate's blueprint in this, he would use following the audience flow with the story, with concluding the catch punch at the end of his presentation. He would give the facts of what his positions and the positions of his references were, to which he turned it to allow the audience to build up and picture what it would be like to be on either side. He continued by giving the situation and the opposing the idea of the given original one, in turn giving the audience the power to come to their own conclusion of the facts, to which logically fell in the agreeance of his argument. I can not stop thinking that the star moment of the presentation came from his statement on a question if we knew why Obama wore a red tie on 2 of the inaugurations and Rodney wore the blue one. His answer, by saying that it was so that the Bloods and Cribs would know who to vote for. I found it humorous because he had mentioned previously of how retired congressmen all agree that Congress of today resembles a very, very big gang warfare situation. Mr. Haidt was able to keep a clear goal in his position and presentation. At times, as an audience, you could see that sometimes his efforts for humor were missed completely by the audience. Still, Mr. Haidt continued as if nothing had happened, as if expected this, and never losing his track of goals in his set in motion. I believe that what I could take out of this presentation, besides a subscription to Mr. Hansen and Mr. Haidt's podcast, is that no matter how much audience does not or does react to what I am saying, I will always have the ability to curve how the presentation goes. In addition, to remember to feel comfortable with myself while dealing with the audience and presentations of my ideas.